Call of Duty Infinite Warfare comes out November 4th. You all know that. Eric is here to give me some of the briefing on the game. You like what I did there?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, cool. We have got some new abilities in this game. Obviously, we're getting some, outer space missions. We're on top of ships. We're going to be flying some ships. Is it a longer campaign or a longer story campaign than we've seen in other Call of Duty games?
Yeah, so this campaign will be familiar to anybody who's played a past Call of Duty game. The campaign definitely has this feeling of being this continuous gameplay loop, which is probably the coolest innovation, at least for me, that we have in the game. It's this awesome experience where you're fighting on the ground, you fight your way to an objective, you get into your Jackal, which is your flying space fighter plane, take off into your Jackal, blast off into space, head over to the Retribution, the warship, land on the Retribution, get on the flight deck, take the flight deck elevator up to the ops map, program into the ops map where you want to go next, go down in the elevator, jump in your Jackal, and then continue and do that out in one continuous loop. It's really exciting.
We're sure that this game is coming out in 2016, right? I mean, that sounds like an incredible amount of work to have this all be one seamless thing.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
So who has the con, Gator?
Is the highest ranking officer on board? I believe you do, sir.
In not too many months, you will be stepping into the boots of these fine people in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Brian is with me and Jamie is with me. Tell us about the characters that you're playing.
I play Captain Nick Reyes. He is the newly minted captain of the UNSA Retribution. This is one of the last remaining warships after the Earth has sustained a devastating attack from the settlement defense front, and he is a SCAR. Jamie can tell you what that is, I think.
All right, Jamie.
They're essentially sort of the Navy SEALs of the sky in our fiction, and I play Lieutenant Nora Salter, and she's kind of a badass ball buster fighter pilot herself, and she thinks is the best in the fleet. And she is the Nick Reyes' partner in the game, and by proxy all of the players' partners. And they kind of came up in the ranks together and have gone through this experience together, and now with him being promoted to captain, she's finding herself as his subordinate for the first time in their lives, so that kind of adds an interesting dynamic to it.
That's awesome. I feel like I should have a raspier voice.
You've got two people who sound like they were chewing scar teeth and whiskey.
Aegis Tower's dead ahead!
We're getting close!
C6 is dropping in! Tango's at the bound!
This will be the third futuristic Call of Duty game. Is there, a sense of concern that you're staying in this kind of sub-genre for too long, or does this game really differentiate itself from the previous Call of Duty games in some innovative ways?
Yeah, what we're looking to do is we're looking to really ground this story. We actually went back, as the creators of the original Call of Duty 1 and 2, we went back to those games, looked at them, and was like, what makes those games fun? What makes them exciting? And it's really funny, the tagline actually stuck with us, the tagline of "No soldier fights alone." So we were like, okay, that was cool, that was great. Like these sort of moment-to-moment sort of experiences where you ran up and you got to the next barracks, and then you hunkered down and you sort of took out enemies left and right how you could, and then you'd rush to the next barracks. Like that experience, that boots on the ground action, is the core of what our gameplay is for this. But we were like all obsessed with space. Space was something that, goes around. We send emails around the office that's like, all right, there's a new dwarf planet, can we get it in the game? But it's one of those things where it was the right setting. We had a 3-year development cycle, and we were like, okay, we're going to go for it. We're going to tell this really plausible, grounded story in space. We've talked to a lot of military advisors and like Top Gun pilots and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, it was really cool flying in the air. Where do you guys go next from there? And they're like, up, we go to space.
Wild. So a lot of the future look that we have in this game is based on stuff that's happening at DARPA and things like that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. We've spent a lot of time talking to different space companies and different military advisors. We have director communications on the project that's on the set, our performance capture set, that if we say something sort of line that sounds out of place, they'll be like, no, we'd say it that way if you're on a warship or if you're on the flight deck or something like that. So that's really awesome. We have another advisor, a Navy SEAL, that did a bunch of weapons training with our actors and also has just advised us on things like we showed a grappling hook in the E3 demo, and we went to him and we were like, okay, you're in space, you have a grappling hook to get to cover, does that make sense? And we were nervous, and he's like, no, that makes a lot of sense. That's really smart because it will get you there quicker, and that's what you need to do.
Now, are you guys designing stuff that the military is actually implementing and going to work on? Is it flipping both ways now?
I don't. Even if we were, I probably couldn't talk about it. So.
That's classified, is what?
Yeah.
That's I got a classified interview.
Let's mount up.
A lot of other shooters out there have gone in directions where they sort of move away from the single player offering and the campaign and the storytelling. Call of Duty never has done that. Why is single player so important to your teams and your studios that work on these games?
I think, our heritage as a studio, Infinity Ward's made some really, really classic stories, classic war stories we've told from, originating Call of Duty, as I mentioned, to Modern Warfare, which, arguably changed a lot of the genre. So we sort of have that in our DNA, and it's sort of in the studio's heritage and just something that we want to preserve and push forward into the future. And we have an amazing narrative team. We have the ungodly fortunate opportunity where our lead actor is actually our writer, which I don't think has ever happened in video games. And he's down in his office at our studio almost every day, and I can go talk to him about things, and that's awesome to have that experience too.
This is a ground assault. Captain's place is on the bridge.
Not this, Captain. Not today.
So Brian, you are actually part of the narrative drive on this. You're writing this game as well. Tell us about how that came to be, and was this your vision, or was this something that the studio came to you and said, help us embellish this?
It's more like that. I've had the fortunate opportunity of working on, I think, 8 titles now with my voice, Call of Duty titles.
Yeah.
And because I'd done a fair amount of screenwriting, some of the guys said, hey, take a look at our narrative, take a look at our story, come in, critique it, look at it, see if you have any suggestions. And that role evolved. And when they started talking about doing this, listen, Infinity Ward wanted to do a space game. Everybody was really excited about it. And Taylor Kurosaki and Jacob Minkoff and myself started to work with the team to kind of complement, join narrative to the gameplay that would happen if you took this title to space. Space is an incredible enemy unto itself.
Sure. We're not supposed to be out there.
Exactly. It's impossible to survive there without technology and support. Yeah. So as you play this game, you're dealing with these brand new environments, some of these brand new weapons, mechanics, and features. You are dealing with zero G, low G. You're dealing with atmospheric conditions that are not natural. This is a place where you can die not because the enemy has done something to you, but because you have a catastrophic failure in your equipment. So that makes for a whole other storytelling and narrative aspect. And to be able to do both of these things, to write, to play this part, listen, the game is a deeply immersive experience, and I have had a deeply immersive experience making this game.
You okay, sir? Get yourself to safety.
You have a passionate group of people out there that love this series, and a lot of them have expressed their exasperation. They wanted Infinity Ward to go back to the Modern Warfare kind of game design. What do you have to say to those people out there?
Yeah, I feel like we have a really good offering this year. I mean, if you want to play Modern Warfare Remastered, that's coming out as well, and we're executive producing it and working on it. So, we had a team and we had a 3-year development cycle, and we wanted to work on something that we were all super passionate about. And as I mentioned, we are all space nuts at Infinity Ward, so we're happy to work on that game. If you love Modern Warfare, check out Modern Warfare Remastered. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. Well, I'm a space nut too, and I cannot wait for this game. Awesome. Eric, thank you so much, man.
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.